very good morning and warm welcome to the third edition of the Hyatt WOW Women Achievers Award 2019. In a month that celebrates women, today we are proud to honor 5 women in different fields of expertise, and what's common to them and the nominees is their passion for excellence, their brilliance, their resilience, and their spirit to make a difference. I'm Charu Chadda, editor of Media 9, and welcome each one of you most warmly. Now I'd like to invite the General Manager of the Hyatt Regency Kathmandu, Mr. Rajesh Ramdas, to present the welcome address.
On behalf of Hyatt Regency Kathmandu, I'd like to welcome you to the third edition of Hyatt Women Achievers Award 2019. At Hyatt, caring for people is what we do best. This does not limit us to the boundaries of the wall or to the areas in the vicinity of Bodha as such. What we do is that we do this on a global scale. We reach out to the communities on a global scale. In doing so, we reach out to the people as well. So in caring for people, we go out to the communities, we look after the communities as well. Now, the initiative honoring women in 5 categories within our community shows a commitment to taking care of people so that they can be their best and becoming the unsung heroes of tomorrow. Fortune and Great Places to Work recently released their annual list of 100 best workplaces for women, where Hyatt was ranked number 6 on the 75 best large workplaces for women, the highest ranking hospitality company on the list. Special thanks goes out to our sponsors who make this possible: Ncell Pvt Ltd, Dabur Real Power, Nabil Bank Limited, Sanima Bank, Siddhartha Insurance, and Turkish Airlines. And not to forget, absolutely not to forget, our keynote speaker for today, Ms. Dorji Dalma, who took time from a busy schedule to make this event successful. On a personal note, I'd like to add that I've had the good fortune of being raised by a strong mother who not only balanced the home front but did immense justice to her role as a teacher and a humanitarian. She's my hero. Of course, for all the boys, it's usually the father who's the hero. But to me, candidly speaking, she's my hero. She's made me the strong, resolute person that I am. And I thank her for her tenacity and balancing several roles that you do as women as well in bringing this to life. I'm honored to be part of this celebration that brings forth women who've stood out for their contribution to society. I thank you all for making it for this special occasion and wish you the very best. Thank you.
Now, rooted in our traditions is the sound of the dhime played during jatras and festivals. Mythology tells us that the sound of the dhime was Lord Shiva's creation. The instrument was the domain of men until a very young girl called Indra Lachimasu battled societal norms, mastered the dhime, and went on to create an all-girls group called the Dhime Girls. Let's welcome Indra as she brings alive her passion for the dhime amidst us today. Once in a way, you come across a book that makes you stop and think and touches your inner core. This time, it was a book that came through post and which lay on my table untouched for several days. It was a home author and I wasn't really sure what to expect. But when I started to read, I couldn't stop. It was the life story of Dorji Dolma, the young girl, and our keynote speaker for today. Hers is the story of courage, fortitude, and change. The Yak girl made me think about how different our realities are based on geographic locations within the country. Dolpa for me, until then, was a remote region in the country I wanted to travel to someday, to experience the culture and to be amidst untouched nature. But Dorji's story showed me what it meant to be a child, a woman and a man in Upper Dolpa. It was not just about the hardships, because life can be hard anywhere, even in the cities, even if you're earning, even if you have it all. Her story brings to life the raw intensity of human experience, of being happy with the little things, the simplicity of relationships, acceptance of life, the uncertainty of illness, survival, and death. And in it all, the one thing that keeps us all alive, hope. Dorji made the journey from a remote part of Nepal to the capital and onwards to America. Hers is a story of the test of character, survival, grit, and ability, all from the eyes of a little girl who shepherded yaks and fought off snow leopards, even as she tried to laugh and play and survive. Today she has written this book. Tomorrow she wants to change the lives of her people in Dolpo. This morning, I'm extremely privileged to invite Dorji Dolma, a storyteller and a woman of true substance, to share her life story as the keynote address. Dorji.
Thank you all for coming. Before I begin, I would like to thank Hyatt and Turkish Airlines for sponsoring my trip here. And I would like to thank Charu for not only reading my book and inviting me here, and I want to thank Mohini for organizing the whole trip. So, I'm the author of this book, Yak Girl. And so Yak Girl was published on January 2018 in the United States, and now it's also published in Nepal. And it took me 15 years to write it. And I have been touring, ever since the book came out, I have been touring all over the world and given over 70 talks so far. And the reason it took 15 years to write was because I had to learn English, finish high school, and I received my Bachelor in Fine Arts degree at the University of Colorado at Boulder. But I did not want to give up because I wanted to tell my story. I wanted to tell people what life was like living at 13,000 feet in Dolpo with no electricity, no running water, and no hospital. Yak Girl is filled with vivid stories of my early childhood memories from age 5 to 10 years old. It's the stories of loss, love, ancient culture, and magical moments. Now, I would like to, now we're going to imagine, we're going to go enter into the world of Yak Girl and imagine. But don't worry, because we'll be back with electricity and Wi-Fi. Very important now. So I would like you all to just imagine living at a place as high as 13,000 feet with vast mountains, valleys, rivers, and above tree level. And there are no roads, no electricity, no running water, no hospitals, and when I was there, no schools. Yet people choose to live here because the land is majestically beautiful. The air is clean. It is quiet and peaceful. So quiet that you can hear your own heartbeat. And in the winter, you can hear the snow leopards whimpering through the thick white snow. You can hear a pack of wolves howling at night. And people have lived here as early as 8th century, practicing ancient Tibetan culture and religion. Now, Dolpo is located in northwestern region of Nepal. It's one of the largest districts, divided into upper and lower, and I'm from the upper region. It is considered the most remote place in the world and isolated from the rest of Nepal because there are no roads and electricity. And so walking is our main way of traveling, which is often quite dangerous due to risky paths, landslides, avalanches, but people still have to make these difficult journeys in order to get food supplies and medical supplies and medical treatments. I was the oldest of 11 children. And I was like another parent to my younger siblings because my parents had to work in the field planting potatoes, barley, buckwheat, which are our main source of food. And I love being the big sister, you know, who does, well, not always, but most of the times. But what was really extremely devastating was losing so many. 5 of my younger siblings died before the age of 1. In fact, one day I had to help cremate one of my baby sisters' body on top of our rooftop. And I was my mother's midwife. I didn't know what to do, but she handed me a newborn baby. I washed it, put some oil, that's all I knew. But there were times it was very scary when my mother took a long time to give birth. So my other job, I was a herder. I had to herd animals of cows, horses, yaks, goats, and sheep to mountains as high as 18,000 feet for grazing. And my job was to make sure that they did not get eaten by the wolves and the snow leopards. I thought it was a lot of responsibility for a child of 6 or 7 years old. And I had many encounters with the wolves and snow leopards. In fact, one time, this 200-pound snow leopard attacked my herd of goats and sheep, killed a couple, and then ran off with one in its mouth down to a deep ravine. And I was 7 years old, and I ran after the snow leopard to get that goat back, because I take my job very seriously. It was scary, but I did it. I don't recommend it, though. Years later, the snow leopards and the wolves have taught me a very valuable lesson. And that lesson was, they taught me how to face my inner fears. Before the snow leopard incident, I was getting bullied by the children. They pulled my ears, they pushed me down the mountains, and I did whatever the adults told me to do. But after I chased away 5 wolves and ran after a giant snow leopard, I started to stand up for myself because I did not want others to treat me poorly. And so my early audience were animals, and they were also my teachers. They've taught me how to appreciate nature and how to have patience. In 1994, my family and I walked from Dabur to Kathmandu for a whole month because I had a severe scoliosis. My family, we didn't know it was called scoliosis, but they have seen children with similar condition as me die young, and my family was scared. So we made a difficult decision to make the long journey. We didn't have a lot of food. We didn't know how we were going to return, but we had to make some kind of choice. By then, my family's already lost 5 of my younger siblings, many relatives. In fact, by the time I was age 10, I've seen so many deaths in my family that I remember wishing, I wish I could have a magical power to save all these people, because I was getting tired of just praying and feeling hopeless. So we walked down to Kathmandu. I was excited, but it was a very long, lots of walking, sometimes 7 or 8 hours a day. My more exciting point was when I saw the bus. I thought it was a cow or a yak. And in fact, when I asked my father, what color are they? And he said, well, they're green and blue. So and I said, I've never walked inside a cow or yak before, but what I know. So finally we got to Kathmandu. And life wasn't easy here. We didn't have money. So my family, we all begged in the street, and the stupa was our main begging place. And the doctor said, sorry, we can't fix your back. And which meant I had to go back to Dabur. And I didn't want to do that because I wanted to live. Just as we were getting ready to go back to Dabur, I came across the Ropa soup kitchen, which is located near the stupa. And my family and I went to the Ropa soup kitchen often to get the free hot meals they provided for poor people. And we were very thankful. But one day at the Ropa soup kitchen, I met Leia, but I knew her as Mommy Leia. And I walked to her one rainy day, and I said, Mommy, ngalokta, which means, Mommy, I want to go to school. And so she listened to my story and told me to get my family. And that's when my life changed. They accepted me as one of the Ropa children. And at the Ropa soup kitchen, I met now my adopted American family, who later brought me to America in 1995 to help fix my back. And I had 4 major surgeries. Try to think of having to wear a giant cast for 6 months. And you can take it off in July. July is not a fun day to have a cast, just want to let you know. But, you know, I did it. And I was so grateful for all these people that helped me. And then, you know, as I finished the school, or I got adopted, and then, you know, I started to write this book. And there are many people that inspired me to write the book, especially 2 grandmothers. So I had a grandmother who could not read or write. The grandmother who could not read or write, she loved stories so much that storytelling became an important part of our family tradition. At night, we gathered around the fire and drank our barley soup and told each other stories. Years later, I met a grandmother who could read and write, and she said, Dorje, you have important knowledge to share to the world. You should write. Don't be afraid. And so I began writing my memoir, Yak Girl. But I have been so blessed with many strong and inspiring women as a role model that have taught me to stay focused, don't give up, and stay strong. And some of them are in the room today. I have my adopted American mother, Jennifer, who brought me to America to get my life-saving surgery. And I always thought she was so cool because she was driving a big truck, and she could play guitar, and she was building a house. Things that I've known you see men do. But most importantly, she teaches me, not taught me, still learning it, teaches me how to work hard and how to be kind, always kind to others. And then I have Mommy Leia, who is the co-founder of Ropa International for more than 30 years, and she has saved thousands of children, especially in Nepal. And she was the first person that listened to my story. And not only she helped me, but all my other siblings and now my niece. And she provides them with food, education, shelter, and lots of love. And then my Ama, Togo mother, she not only gave birth to me and my 10 younger siblings, when we first came to Kathmandu, we begged, we had to beg, but she was like, look, we have to survive, so I know you're ashamed and embarrassed, but we have to do it. And so she taught me how to stay strong and not to give up. And one other thing about my mother, even though she can't read and write and never been to school, she rules the house. She looks sweet and shy, but at the house, she wins all the arguments. So that's, and I always wonder, like, how do you do that? What's your secret? Because I can't do that. And I also had, I have two aunts here, Margaret and then Anidawa, Tamil, who are amazing mothers, their children, and have been very supportive and kind to me. And I'm so happy they are here today. And I have my family members, sisters, and brother here. So I'm very grateful to have all these people here. Now, I have a favor to ask you all. When you get to a point in your life where you have your basic needs, shelter, food, and good health, and if you can, please, if you can spare a little, please help those in need. Help a child get to school. Maybe you have a relative who needs that extra support. Help a community or a village. Because I believe that as long as we have those basic needs, we have the power to help those in need. I can give you examples. So at the moment, I am donating a portion of my book, and I'm also an artist, and book and art sales to help organizations in Dabur, especially education and medical needs, because people in Dabur still are having to walk 10 to 15 days to get to hospitals. And so they need that support. And I hope that one day that people in Dabur don't have to walk 10 to 15 days to get to the nearest hospital. I hope it's 10 to 15 minutes. That is my wish. And I am very happy to note that in our Dabur community, there are now more girls are going to school to pursue further educations and becoming doctors, nurses, and teachers, and helping the community thrive. Back when I was there 24 years ago, we didn't have schools. And schools for girls were out of the question. We worked hard, and many girls worked hard at a young age, and then when they reached age 15, 16, they had to get married, and many died from childbirth. And now, I see that more and more women and girls are becoming leaders in their community, using their educational skills. So education is, in my family, is our survival, really. I used to think that, well, the adults and the world leaders know the problems. They know the answers to all our problems. But now I think, actually, we should all think like leaders. If there's a problem in your community or in the country, imagine you are the leader. And think about what resource, what knowledge do you have? How can you fix that problem? Find solutions to the problem. And if you have any ideas, share to the community, share to your family to help make positive changes happen. Because I think that sometimes we are really good at finding problems. There's always problems. But then we have to remember we are good at brainstorming ideas and finding solutions to any problems that we have. So, I have been going around the country giving talks at schools, universities, and senior centers. I really like sometimes the kids. I've been doing a lot of elementary kids. And one of the things that we have been working, brainstorming, is that how are we going to protect and love our Earth? Because there are more natural, climate change is happening, and there are more natural disasters happening. Let me give you an example. Right now, in Tokyo, for example, they're having massive snow and avalanches, and rows of yaks are just dying. Because for me, that is a sign of, a major warning, a sign that it is related to climate change. And so, amongst part of your helping your community and helping put a child to school, please also think of ways we can protect our Earth. Find ways to so we can have clean air. And so one of the kids recently, I had a couple 160 kids, and I said, "What? Anybody have any ideas as to how we're going to protect the planet?" There's nothing. It was silent. And then one of them said, "Well, I think we should only buy what we need, and we should share. We should reuse things, and we should plant more plants and recycle." I thought that was pretty good for 4th graders. So I hope that we can all do the same. Thank you so much for listening to my story. I hope it was interesting. One other thing about my mothers here, especially Mamilea and Jennifer, when they met, I'm very grateful that they listened to my story and took a chance on me, because they didn't have to help me. They could just be like, there's another child wanting to be helped, but they listened to my story and helped save my life. But what they didn't know was that I was going to write a book about me, and that they had to come to most of my talks, yak about Yak Girl so many times. Sorry about that. It was part of the whole package. You just didn't see the small print. By the way, you will be coming to all my talks. I try to make it a little bit different so they don't get bored. So, thank you so much. I do have my books here in Nepal, and now I have it out there, so I'll be happy to sign them for you all. And happy Women's Day.
And now we move to the main event, the awards. After such a powerful story from Dorje, I think it takes a moment for us to just absorb it all in, and it was just beautiful. Hyatt Regency Kathmandu and WOW World Women came together to present honors in 5 categories: Entrepreneurship, Arts, Social Service, Leadership, and the title of Inspiring Woman of the Year 2019. The awards are a tribute to the unrelenting spirit of achievement and womanhood. The nominees for the awards are women relentlessly pursuing their passion, but with a focus on greater change and leadership. Each category had 3 nominees that were presented by the WOW editorial and research teams. We then invited a panel of eminent women as the jury to make the decision. We would first like to introduce you to our panel of judges for 2019, who themselves are very distinguished achievers, and to felicitate them with a token of our sincere appreciation. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ridaji. Now, to present the honors in the 5 categories, I have the distinct privilege of inviting on stage Governor of Province 3, CNN Hero 2010, founder of Maiti Nepal, and an inspiring woman icon who has touched the lives of millions of women, Honorable Anuradha Koirala. She's our chief guest for today. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation, Nabil. In our first category, Entrepreneurship, we focused on innovation and growth. We'd like to present a certificate of recognition to our first nominee, Sneha Koirala, founder of Studio Sarcastic.
Sneha used to doodle since she was a kid. However, with her doodling was not just reduced to a hobby, her passion got translated into a business idea, and that's how Studio Sarcastic came into existence. Established in November 2016, the response to her design creations has been overwhelming.
The second nominee to be presented with the certificate of recognition is Khushbu Dangol, founder of Odni Boutique.
Khushbu started her journey as a designer by converting her school notebook sketches into full-fledged creations. Odni Boutique came into being in 2011. There has been no looking back since. Khushbu is today a household name in a competitive market that sees boutiques open and close almost every other day. In 2017, she had also opened a branch for her boutique in the United States. Sajal Pradhan is an environmentalist working for sustainability. In 2015, she co-founded Badi, an organization that specializes in research and development and the installation of sustainable water systems. Badi works with the vision of creating a world where every person has equitable access to clean water, and the organization uses environmentally sound technologies and 100% locally available resources.
Thank you for the award. I think when we look back at this point in time, we would be incredibly proud that all of us made this happen here today. And I'm not just talking about entrepreneurs, but parents and friends who have helped us go through emotionally taxing times, policy makers who have enabled a legal environment for these changes to occur. And in larger society, I think all of us should be incredibly proud that we have collaborated a society in which such social transformation for progress for human well-being has been possible. Thank you so much.
Ikra got together a young of women in students and created the first group of girls to play the instrument, now known as Dhime Baja.
Our second nominee in this category is Nayantara Gurup Kakshapati, co-founder of Photo Kathmandu, Nepal Picture Library and Photo Circle.
Akanchha Karki is a theatre practitioner, counseling psychologist, and a lover of arts and aesthetics. She co-founded Kathaghera, where audiences share their life stories and performers act on the spot. Established in 2017, Kathaghera has been running as an independent and self-sustained theatre group. It is a group entirely run, organized, and conducted by women. This is their attempt to create a women-only theatrical space in order to explore the hidden stories of women in Nepal. Engaging in playback theatre for Akanchha is a way of fighting gender stereotypes and cultural misrepresentations, especially of women.
Thank you, Akanchha.
I'm very, very privileged to be here. And I just have to say one thing. I think we need to believe in what we do and love what we do, and everything else will make its way. Thank you for everything. Thank you.
Our next category is social service or social activism. These are the women who inspire us to do more, be more. Their purpose is to make a difference. The first nominee to receive the certificate of recognition in this category is Hima Bishta, campaign initiator Rage Against Rape.
Hima Bishta is one of the initiators of the campaign Rage Against Rape. The movement started in January 2018 in Nepal to bring the rampant cases of rape, violence against girls, women and children to the notice of media, citizens and the government. After the brutal rape and murder of Nirmala Pant in Kanchanpur on July 26, 2018, the movement had taken a structured and intense path. The group is now beyond one incident but is seeking justice for all rape victims, which calls for policy changes and calls for advocating against impunity and silence of the state. Angela Shrestha is the founder and director of Project Human Nepal, an animal welfare education organization based in Nepal. After watching a shocking video of a street dog being brutally killed by Nepalese police, Angela decided to dedicate herself to help end such suffering. After a crowdfunding campaign, Project Human Nepal was launched in May 2018, with Angela's return to Kathmandu and the help of volunteers. PHN is the first Nepalese organization of its kind dedicated to raising awareness and empowering youth to make a difference in the lives of Nepal's street dogs. Padma Khayargoli is the Vice President of Nepal Self-Defense Association in Dabur. Padma provides self-defense training in many districts across the country and aims to regulate self-defense training programs in 77 districts of the country. A medical doctor at Kathmandu Hospital was sexually molested by his own uncle. She defended herself from being raped. This idea of being one's own savior was what motivated Padma Khayargoli to continue her journey as a self-defense trainer.
पक्कै पनि यो एउटा सोशल वर्क हो एज अ आमा म पनि एउटा खेलाडी हो इन्टरनेसनल खेलाडी हो तैपनि मैले चाहिँ यो सेल्फ डिफेन्स ट्रेनर नै किन भने यसको कहानी छुट्टै छ एउटा तपाईहरुले भर्खरै पनि धेरै अगाडिदेखि सुनिराख्नु भएको जुन निर्मला पन्तको काण्ड छ यो एउटा उदाहरण मात्र हो हाम्रो समाजको लागि हाम्रो समाजमा यस्ता घटनाहरू दिन प्रतिदिन बढ्दै गएको छ पहिलाको तुलनामा अहिले चाहिँ हाम्रो हिंसाहरू महिला हिंसाहरू भइराखेको छ पहिला फोकस हाम्रो मिडियामा आउँदैन थियो भने अहिले चाहिँ मिडियामा एउटा महिलालाई चाहिँ हिंसाबाट मुक्त गर्नु छ भनेर हाम्रा महिलाको लागि हामी आफै महिलाको लागि महिला अग्रसरता भनेर हामीले नेपाल सेल्फ डिफेन्स एसोसिएसन विगत 4 वर्षदेखि हामीले यसमा महिला हिंसा र महिला बलात्कारका केसहरू विभिन्न हिंसाका केसहरूलाई लिएर हामीले स्टडी गर्दै आइरहेका छौं.
Hyatt Koirala is the founder and director of Sushila Arts Academy that was established in Nepal in the year 2012. Her passion is to support and promote the arts in Nepal. One of the academy's contributions is to provide 90 scholarship seats yearly to talented, committed, underprivileged or financially limited Nepali children and youth in various forms of dance, music, art and theatre. Dr. Pratibha Pandey is the co-founder of the Daitwa Nepal Public Service Fellowship Program, a platform for students and young professionals to support public sector institutions and technical research. Pratibha is also the founder and CEO of Catalyst Technology, a science and technology research and product development company. After leading various women's groups for more than a decade, Sita Adhikari decided to start her own business. Since its operation in 2012, Empower Generation has created over 20 women-led businesses, employing 300 female distribution agents who go from village to village selling, maintaining and collecting repayments for products. Sita Adhikari's organization has sold almost 70,000 products such as solar-powered mobile phone chargers, flashlights and rechargeable batteries, providing around 3 lakh Nepalis with access to cleaner, safer light and power. Sita, a social activist and mother of two, always wanted to boost the financial independence of Nepali women by addressing the issue of energy poverty. Her formula for success, a hyper-local distribution network where products are marketed and sold by trusted women who live in the heart of rural communities.
This is my honor to get this award. I'm really happy, and in this time I'm thinking about my women entrepreneurs who worked really hard to be successful, and also thanking my hard-working team as well. And I'm really happy in this moment because I got this award with my honorable Anuradha Didi. She is my hero. So it's really, really important moment. Thank you very much.
The title of this year's Most Inspiring Woman 2019 is a recognition of the strength, the ability, the perseverance, the empathy, and the impact of a woman in her domain of work and life. They are the dreamers, the darers, and the doers who fearlessly pursue their passion despite obstacles, despite challenges. They are the ones who inspire others to dream. This is a power list really. The first nominee to receive the certificate of recognition in this powerful category is the first female Muslim lawyer of the country, advocate and rights activist Mona Ansari.
Mona is a lawyer from a lower middle-class Muslim family from Nepalganj. Her position is the highest held by Muslim women in Nepal's modern history. She was the first to oppose the deployment of the army to deal with Madheshi agitation and also the first to speak publicly against it. Titles including National Geographic's Adventurer of the Year 2017. Recently, the ultramarathon runner Meera Rai has been honored with the Asian Game Champion Award in New York.
A woman who has left her mark in Nepali history. The 57-year-old Devi Badi, who is commander of the Badi movement, which fights to secure rights and opportunities and change the perception of the Badi community and Badi women with a perceived association with prostitution, also regarded as a traditional occupation. She works for the welfare of over 60,000 Badis across the country and inspires many, many more. It's an honor to have her amidst us today. I'd like to request everyone present to please give her a standing ovation.
In
The most inspiring woman of the year
2009,
2009.
activists from 23 districts had started their journey from villages to Singapore, putting forward a 26-point demand under the leadership of Devi. Despite making numerous pledges and staging peaceful demonstrations, their voices were unheard.
जानी गरेको कामको जुन सम्मान गर्नुभयो त्यो मानेमा म सम्पूर्ण आयोजक वर्ग हजुरहरू सबैलाई म आभार व्यक्त गर्छु, धन्यवाद दिन्छु। साँच्चीकै मलाई आज यति ठुलो प्रेरणा मिलेको छ। म त सक्दिनँ आउँदिनँ भनेको थिएँ, तर आयोजकले उमाजी आउनुहोस्, त्यसपछि मेरो अगाडि बस्नु भएको मुना म्यामले चाहिँ उमाजी आए राम्रै हुन्छ भनेर भन्नुभयो। यसको महत्त्व जब म आएँ त्यसपछि थाहा भयो कि साँच्चीकै गरेर मान्छेले काम गर्नुपर्ने रहेछ, त्यसपछि माया र सम्मान धेरै पाइने रहेछ भन्ने कुरो मैले पाएँ। त्यो माने म फेरि पनि म सम्पूर्ण आयोजक वर्गलाई मुरी आभार व्यक्त गर्छु।
Thank you, Madhaji. We are humbled that each one of the nominees and honorees has been a part of our journey today. We wish you more power, more happiness, and immense recognition in the days to come. And now, another moment in this day that I'm super excited about. In synchronization with the theme of this year's International Women's Day, Balance for Better, we have a lineup of fabulous all-male panelists, Atulya Pandey, Amun Thapa, Ishan Raj Untar, who will be in conversation with moderator of this session, Amuda Mishra, one of the most important voices of her generation.
Thank you so much, Charity. It's so overwhelming and very frightful to see all the women who were nominated, honored here today. On that note, happy Advanced Women's Day to you all, and maybe all ballots for better this year. The topic today is quite sensitive because we do not talk about male privileges and toxic masculinity out in the open and how it all impacts all of us who are in this room. From the moment we are born, the world is gendered. At the hospital, somebody looks at our genitalia and says, oh, you're a man. Oh, you're a woman. Oh, we don't know what you are. We never ask them what they want to be or who they could be. We now label them into roles and responsibilities and what they should do without even confirming what they want to do and what they can do. Then young boys will now get out of the hospital and will wear blue and play with guns and trucks, and young girls will go out of the hospital, wear pink and play with dolls and paramount. And that has been our destiny. Forget about being at the hospital these days. We have gender revelation parties and baby shower. Even in your womb, you already know what you're supposed to do and what you should be conforming to. Patriarchy hurts all of us. However, it disproportionately hurts women and gender and sexual minorities. We don't talk about that often. But it also hurts men and defines being a man as being very masculine, very powerful, aggressive, violent. So men too also get affected by this. And they do not know how to perform in these spaces. And sometimes when they perform, they have to perform like our Churutko ad, where we say the macho man looks like this. Or I don't know if you have seen the Dos Ekis ad, where there's a macho man with all women around him. So they construct their realities in these ways. So today's conversation is more about deconstructing masculinity and trying to reconstruct it in feminist spaces. We truly believe that to create a gender-just world and to balance for better, we all need to be allies in it. We need to understand where male privileges are and how they can be redistributed. So I hope the panelists today will talk about understanding and being aware of their own male privileges and how they have distributed it or redistributed it at their personal and professional spaces.
Well, this is a very scary topic. And then, well, I've never really thought of this question before. I'm sure women, they have to wake up every day thinking about their privileges and their rights and how they're gonna go through the day. But for men, luckily or unfortunately, we never really have to think about this. So honestly, to answer your question, this is probably one of the first time that I'm really having to think over it. Maybe Matilda has got a good example.
Well, there's definitely that expectation of being protective. So I have a sister. I grew up around a lot of sisters, cousins. But, you know, I was more of a, I would say, an effeminate male growing up. So there wasn't that expectation from my sisters. But in terms of male like privileges or stereotypes, I remember I used to want to dance with my sister. So my sister and 3 of my cousins used to wanted to put on a show. They wanted to perform to Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam, you know, very classic number.
I think these are things that have been around for a very long time. अहिले recently मात्रै भएको होइन यो कुरा भन्ने कुरा. रामायण पढ्ने हो भने पनि एउटा core philosophy of Ramayana is that virtue of a man is to protect a woman. So रामको एउटा virtue थियो सीतालाई जोगाएर राख्ने. So these are some things that have been passed down to us through generations and generations of practices.